Hi everyone, guess what? We're in the Burnley field station. We're your band, and I'm here with Andrew Smith. Hi Andrew.
Hello everyone.
Andrew's the Gardens Coordinator and more actually on the Burnley campus. And we're going to talk about these massive piles of arborist waste or wood chips. Andrew, why are they here and what do you use them for?
Well, we have the arboriculture companies actually come and drop this off for free because they actually don't really know what to do with it, and it's a mixture of the actual logwood and the leaves and the branches, the whole lot.
Yep.
Put through a drum chipper, and you end up with something it's a bit of a mixed bag, but it's a very good free resource for using for mulching.
Yep. So they obviously really appreciate having a site where they can come and dump it.
Yeah, otherwise they would have to actually pay for it to be, and of course we don't want it to go to the landfill anyway.
No,
it's
that's
far better off.
Absolutely.
And look, after about 3 years it does break down, and you can see this is all the different grades of decomposition. Once it gets to this stage, it actually doesn't have a lot of use as mulch per se.
Yeah.
I mean, mulches can really have lots of different qualities. One of them, if you want it purely for weed suppressant, then this is really a little too far gone. But as almost like a soil conditioner,
yeah.
You can see that there's still quite large pieces of the main logwood, and the leaves are now just broken down into almost a form of humus. So,
and I guess that's what's so fascinating is this is such a massive resource in a city like Melbourne that's full of trees, and you have actually, and I should say the students have a video that I put on the LMS that explains how you can use this as for the long-term decomposition to create a planting substrate, and you've actually done that at Burnley.
Yeah, so particularly for these disturbed sites where, if you've got issues with compaction or perhaps some rubble, for want of a better word,
yeah,
then putting up to 200 mil, even 300 mil of material on top of it, and then allowing the worms and the microflora to actually just gobble that all up and turn it into humus and bring it down deep into the soil. They do a lot of that decompaction work for you. And of course the good thing is apart from maybe some blow-ins of some of the seed-borne weeds, you won't get a lot of other establishment happening as far as the weeds go. So you get a good 12 or 18 month window to just quieten it down before you plant up.
It's really remarkable doing that, and you've actually planted substantial trees into decomposed arborist waste that, as you say, has been worms and the microorganisms have actually incorporated the compacted soil underneath with the chips, right? So that's
and look, I know that you've actually with your vegetable gardens found that wood chips can actually be not necessarily beneficial, because they do take a long time to break down, and once you then incorporate them into the soil by turning it in, then they can cause nitrogen drawdown deficiencies in the soil. So
sure.
That is but I think if you can wait long enough, that's the secret. Then what you've got is a product like this that, and I guess the only hesitant nature would be if you are going to be planting trees, you still need for them to get down below.
That's right.
Where that 30 centimetre soil is. You don't want something that's going to just fall over.
No.
You really want something to get established into that soil below.
So I guess that's the question. Is have the worms, particularly with their larger mouths, but I suppose even the microorganisms, actually, as they break down the wood chips, which, as you say, which is so important, it's not just the chips, it's the fact that it has the leaves and the stems in there as well. So it's actually a mixture of coarse and fines. Yeah. But I guess if the worms are and other larger macroorganisms burying them, going into the compacted layer below, digesting that. So they're actually mixing it. That's what I think is actually going on. So, but you're right, if that wasn't happening, you're planting direct. I mean, if you're planting veggies directly into this, is probably fine, a quick turnover. But it's so interesting, just a game of patience. If you just leave this lying here for ages, as you showed us, it's turning into, you know, very fine organic matter. You know, even in, you know, in a year or two, maybe less, it's going to be humus, like you say. So, and just quickly before we head up to the compost, what's you know, I was actually looking at some this morning, looking at some fraxinus trees at Victoria Park Fair Share, which they were like shag pile carpet in the seeds.
Yeah,
it was
definitely from the mulch.
Yeah.
So we do specify to the companies that come in and drop it off. There are certain species we just don't want to have chips. One of them is, you know, Phoenix canariensis.
Oh, right.
And that's mainly because the material that comes off it is just almost unusable. It's just too fibrous. But some of the more weedier species like Hakea lorena,
right.
You know, any of the fraxinus really.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, if it's Ray Woodii, then it doesn't have any seed. But any of the seeds that are persistent, capressus. So what would be a good thing for people to do is, you know, when you drive along freeways or even next to some of these areas where broad scale mulching has gone on in the past, just check out, you know, that rogue capressus or, you know, an ash tree, fraxinus, and you'll get an understanding of which species, you know, that you want to exclude from the, and you know, they're more than happy to do that.
Yeah, that's good. All right, fascinating. And I'll recommend everyone watch the YouTube video I have on the LMS, which shows a gardener in California, you know, planting substrate the way Andrew did here with wood chips. So we'll finish up this one now and then head up to the compost.